Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Davin James. I'm glad to have you all here with me here today. Just a quick reminder, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to my channel as it helps a bunch with the YouTube algorithm and it really means a lot to me, especially as a new YouTuber who's currently at like 5 subscribers and is trying to get the channel to grow a little bit. So if you wouldn't mind helping me out, that would be very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's get on with today's episode, shall we? So on the weekend, I watched the first two Equalizer movies with Denzel Washington. The first one I had seen way back when it came out. The second one I actually had never seen for some weird reason, even though I really liked the first one. But I guess like the second one, which came out like 2018, just slipped my mind for some weird reason. Even though I really like Denzel Washington, I think he's a fantastic actor. And fun fact as well, the Equalizer movies is his first trilogy of movies that he's ever done in his career, which I find really interesting. I haven't seen much of his work in a long time. I've seen some of his past hits like Training Day and whatnot, but I haven't seen anything he's been in recent times, sort of thing. Maybe I need to catch up with some of his movies, but I am a big fan of his work. And the first two movies were really great in my opinion. Really fun, really creative action movies. It didn't rely on this same old action movie formula sort of thing. They actually made you care about the character of Robert McCall, which is played by Denzel Washington, and the stuff that he does to help the side characters in the movie, because he's trying to like right the wrongs of his past, and it makes you care about the story overall, which I really like. I know most people just go into like an action movie just for the action, which is perfectly fine, but for me, I usually like a bit of story as well, a little bit more depth to the characters to make me care a bit more. But this weekend, I'm actually going to see the third Equalizer movie, which I'm really excited for. And I'm hoping, it's just going to be the same as the first two. Which makes sense, because it has got the same director, as you can see here. I don't know how you pronounce his name, so I apologise, because I'm not going to actually try to pronounce it, because I don't want to ruin the guy's name by butchering it. But I came across this article on unilad.com and I was quite interested in it because it talked about de-aging. And de-aging in movies and sometimes TV has been a regular thing these days. Star Wars did it with The Mandalorian, where they de-aged Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, back in like season 1 or 2. I think it was season 2. And some people liked it, some people did not like it. And that seems to be the common thread with de-aging technology. Some people really love it. Other people are like, yeah, maybe not do that again. Maybe just get like a stunt double in or body double or whatever and try and do it that way. Each to their own. Sometimes I don't mind it. Other times I agree. Maybe it's a bit weird. Like the facial features are a bit weird. And it seems very obvious that it's CGI. Which you don't want because that puts you out of the movie or TV series that you're watching. But that being said, this was actually de-aging technology that is talked about for the third Equalizer movie, and the director hinted that it could possibly still happen if he was to do an Equalizer origin movie, which actually was talked about with his Denzel Washington's son. Like the director was like, yeah, I would love to do an origin movie of the Equalizer, but with his son. So I thought, okay, so if you do an origin story with his son, Denzel Washington's son, who looks pretty much a little bit like him, you don't really need the de-aging technology. Like that's pretty spot on. But depending on how far you're willing to go, on how far back his story goes, whether it be for the CIA or whatever it may be, then maybe you would probably want to de-age him way back. But again, it all depends on what you're talking about with this character. Well, not talking about, but what you're planning on doing with this character, and possibly with the story, if the story really needs it, sort of thing, if that makes sense. And another fun fact, the Equalizer 2, the crew who worked on the movie actually said that the movie should be called The Sequelizer, which I actually quite found funny. I found it a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I thought that actually makes a lot of sense, and it makes a great title for the movie, even if some people might not like it. some people might think, oh, it's a little bit on the nose, but who cares? It's fun. I would have gone without 100%, but obviously you can't really do that sort of thing without approval, so it is what it is. But the Equalizer 3 was confirmed last year by Washington, who said in January 22 that the film script had been completed and he had gotten back into shape for his action scenes. The Equalizer director has now actually revealed that he had considered using new technologies to de-age the actor, like what we saw with Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And that's a perfect example right there. Some people had massive complaints over that movie to do with the CGI, especially with the de-aging. Some people felt it didn't look good. Some people felt like you could still obviously tell that this guy is not as young as you are making him out to be in this movie. So people had issues with that. The movie was a disappointment, unfortunately. Like, I had some expectations for Indiana Jones. I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I've seen the first movie, but I'm a big Harrison Ford fan, and this was going to be his swan song for the Indiana Jones franchise. So I was hoping that it would have gone out with a bang, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But that's a story for another day, I suppose. But in a recent interview, the director of the Equalizer trilogy said that, was asked if he had considered using the technology to knock a few years off McCaw, to which he replied, "I definitely thought about it a lot." And while it had been believed that the Equalizer 3 would be the last outing for Washington's McCaw, with promos teasing the final chapter, but let's be honest here, we've seen this a lot in movies. If the movie does well, there's a possibility that Denzel Washington might come back for a fourth film or a fifth film, however films they might plan on doing. It's a good chance he will. We've seen it before in many movies. Money talks, basically. And if a film tanks and it doesn't do well, yeah, we're probably not going to see a third one or, another sequel or whatever. But if it does really well, then some conversations might actually end up happening. Although right now, because of the writer's strike and actor's strike that's going on in Hollywood, we're probably not going to hear about any future plans for the Equalizer movie anytime soon, unless this strike happens to end within the next year or so. Or not the next year or so, but within, time. You know what I mean. I don't know how long these strikes usually go on for. It could be a long time, really. But it all depends on negotiations and how much time it takes to negotiations to actually happen to where everyone's comfortable with what they're going to be receiving, but it is what it is. And the director did say that he's going to be keeping a close eye on the technology in regard to creating a possible origin movie about Robert McCaw. And like I said, I would do his son. I would put his son in the movie, because why not? It makes perfect sense, in my opinion. But he said that, especially now with the new technology and AI and all that kind of stuff, he went on, is there a story to be told about how McCaw became this person, the younger version? I've had that conversation with Richard Wank. I don't want to say wank, but Wank. Who co-wrote all three of the Equalizer movies quite a bit. The director went on to praise the technology, which we also saw used in Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, which was for Netflix, saying that it was very realistic and that those who used the technology did it very skillfully. Now, I've not seen The Irishman. I really want to watch it because I like Robert De Niro, I like Al Pacino, and I think Joe Pesci's in the movie as well. But the movie's almost 3 hours long, and I'm oh, I don't do well with 3 hours movies, for the most part anyway. So I've kind of been I don't know about that. And I've heard it's not very good. Even the AI deepfake technology or whatever it is they did, I heard that's not very good. Obviously you should make your own opinion up, which is very fair. But I'm not too sure. I might get around to watching it at some point, but right now I'm okay with not watching it, sort of. It's not on my top bucket list of movies I need to watch, sort of. But like I said, before he said, rather, before you get on, too excited, he had actually talked to Denzel Washington about the idea. I haven't talked to Denzel yet, he said. It's all so fresh, and now I'm new. I'm still watching the technology. I've watched House and Thoughts films, and I know there's other movies coming out. I think Sony has one coming up with Tom Hanks soon, and I'm hearing that technology is getting better and better and better. So I'm kind of watching it to see where it goes. And now we just have to wait and see, I suppose. And yes, I am very aware I probably butchered a few words during this recording, and it is what it is with me. You get what you get. Sometimes I can speak perfect great English, sometimes I butcher it. Even though English is my first language, I still butcher it sometimes. It is what it is. But overall, I'm very excited for the Equalizer 3. I hope this does really well. I can't wait to see it. I hope we get a good packed audience to see it with. But probably not, because most movies these days don't really get a jam-packed house unless it's Barbie or Oppenheimer or whatever. Or Barbieheimer, for those who are in on the meme. But in terms of this new AI technology, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like to see movies rely on too much technology like CGI and whatnot, unless that's the purpose of the film, where a film is one big whole blockbuster CGI fest. It can be fun, but other times it can be quite it kind of takes you out of it at some point. But like I said, I'm very excited to see the Equalizer, and I'm interested in seeing how much further technology goes with AI and deepfake. And that's one of the purpose of this strike going on in Hollywood right now, is AI. That's a big, massive conversation in Hollywood. Many actors don't like the fact, and writers and directors as well, don't like the fact that AI could be taking over people's jobs in the near future. You won't have to depend on real life actors. You won't have to depend on real life writers. You can just get AI in and they'll do all the work for you. And some people are like, well, no, because that kind of takes the art away from filmmaking, which I agree. Filmmaking is a massive, important art. And I love filmmaking. Even though I'm not a writer or director or anything like that, I have a very deep passion for filmmaking. I love knowing about filmmaking. I love learning about movies, how they're done, how a scene was filmed, loads of different things. I love knowing about what movies are coming out ahead of time, who's writing on what, who's directing what, who's possibly starring in what, stuff like that. I'm a big, massive film geek. And I think, if you take away the art of filmmaking, then you got no filmmaking in a sense. That's all gone away for AI. And yeah, AI could be great, it could be wonderful, but it takes away the actual love and passion these people have for filmmaking. And that's something I don't want to see, But it's a matter of waiting time. No, wait and see. That's the one. Wait and see. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about AI possibly taking over, Hollywood, the filmmaking aspect of things? What do you think of deepfake or de-aging technology? Are you excited for the Equalizer movie, the third one? If you've seen any of the previous two, that is. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Even if you just want to say hi or anything like that, I'm always open just to reply to a random comment. Hopefully it was a good comment, that is. But with that being said, thank you all for listening and watching. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.